Today we're going to be talking about how to reduce a square root. Now whenever we're talking about reducing square roots or talking about things like this, we always have to consider our perfect squares. That is like 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, 5 times 5, all the way down. Now these are just up to 10 squared, but there are more. They go up as high as you can think. But whenever we're thinking about reducing a square root, it's kind of similar to reducing a fraction, just in a different way. When we're talking about reducing a square root, we think about if one of these perfect square numbers is a factor of these numbers. We want to start by rewriting them, expanding them out. So, the square root of 28. The number, if you don't know where to start, think about the biggest number here that is smaller than this number, which would be 25. It's the biggest number here that's smaller than 28. Does 25 go into 28 evenly? No. Does 16 go into 28 evenly? No. If we divided them out, 28 divided by 16 is 1 point something. 28 divided by 9, that doesn't work either. I think that's like 3.111. But 4 does. We can rewrite this as a square root of 4 times a square root of 7. I always write the perfect square first. Again, we always have to start with one of these numbers. Now, we can reduce this. We now know the square root of 4 is 2. And our final answer would be read 2 times the square root of 7. There's not a perfect square that goes into 7, and we're done with that problem. If we move on to some others, the square root of 48. Now we always want to think about the largest one. I know 4 goes into 48, but there's a bigger number from here that goes into 48 evenly, and that is 16. So we start with the square root of 16, and 16 times 3 equals 48. When we rewrite this, we know the square root of 16 is a positive 4, so it's 4 times the square root of 3. Square root of 80. The largest one that goes in, I know there's a couple that do, but the largest one that goes in is 16. And it goes into 80 5 times. Square root of 16 again is 4, and this answer would be 4 times the square root of 5. For 72, many of you will pick, well, 9 goes into 72 8 times. But when we do that, you'll see that 8 can be reduced because there's another perfect square that goes into 8. So one that's bigger than 9 that works is 36. 36 goes into 72 twice. And a square root of 36 is 6 times the square root of 2. Now with these, again, it makes it a lot easier if you can think about which one of these numbers go into the square root. And there it makes it pretty easy. See you next time.